given the following function, square root of x minus x squared over 1 minus square root of x, we want to find the limit of x when x goes to 1. The first thing that we need to do is that we want to find the domain of this function. So we don't want to divide by 0, and also for the square root, we want everything inside the square root to be positive. That means we need to have x is bigger than 0 for this one, and for this one we want to have 1 minus square root of x different from 0. That means the square root of x different from 1, that means x different from 1 and x greater or equal than 0. That means our domain is 0, 1, union 1 plus infinity. So here we have basically a problem on 1. Okay? So to find the limit here in this case, we can use some techniques. Okay? The first technique that we can use is we can multiply by the conjugate of this one. So we can use 1 plus square root of x over 1 plus square root of x. And when we multiply, okay, we get rid of the square root of x. And we try to multiply the top and bottom and see what we can get. But we are not going to do that. Okay? Instead, we're going to use some other things. We're going to use some other technique. So in fact, here we're going to use a change of variable. In fact, so let y be the square root of x. Okay? So our aim of this change of variable is to get rid of the square root. Okay? So here, given that x is in this interval, so y is going to be in this interval as well. Okay? So y is in here. 0, 1, union 1 plus infinity. Okay? So we can square both sides because we have the right, because x is positive. So we get y squared is x. So when x goes to 1, y goes to 1 as well. So this limit becomes, so here the limit of the square root of x minus x squared over 1 minus square root of x as x goes to 1 is the same as the limit when y goes to 1 of the square root of x is just y minus x squared is y to the power 4 over 1 minus square root of x is 1 minus y. Okay? So now we can use some factoring here. Okay, we're going to focus on this top one. So y minus y4 is equal to y times 1 minus y cubed. And we can factor this one as y times y minus 1 times 1 plus y squared. Okay, now we see that this one becomes the limit as y goes to 1 of y, sorry, it's not x, it's y times 1 minus y times 1 plus y squared over 1 minus y. And since we are going to y, so when taking the limit of y as y goes to 1, this one is different from 0. This is different from 0. So we can cancel by it. So we have the limit as y goes to 1 of y 1 plus y squared. And this is a polynomial. We have no problem. When we plug y equals 1, we get 1 times 1 plus 1 plus 1. It's 3. 1 times 3, which is 3. So therefore, the limit of this, the square root of x minus x squared over 1 minus square root of x as x goes to 1 is 3. Okay? Therefore, we can remove this one here, okay? Because it has a limit. We can remove it. And if we can use a calculator to graph and see that we don't have problem in 1 anymore. once we get this limit. Okay, so that's what we can do to remove a number that's a problem in the definition. Okay, but we're gonna do that later and do more problems about that. For now, the limit of this fraction is 3. Thank you.